B&B spoilers. Brooke's renewed fears as Thomas begins to spin out. September 14th, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers document that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, has been on the soapy roller coaster again. She was rescued by Ridge Forrester in Italy after nearly drowning. That led to their rushed remarriage. Carter Walton said he was honored to be part of this latest reunion. B&B's resident officiant remarried the often-married couple in the Forrester Creations executive offices. With that, this soap opera's most often-married couple is reunited again. However, looming over this joyful reunion is one mad son. Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, fresh off his engagement collapse, is angry that his mother was wronged by his dad and blames Brooke for it. Eric Forrester was right all along. Eric Forrester mentioned that nuptials in the Forrester Creations executive suite were a first. Many weddings have been held in Eric's living room at his palatial estate, as longtime fans know. But Ridge apparently didn't care about not having a license, with the laws in this version of California seemingly being incredibly lax. Of course, marriage is hardly a sacrament on B&B, especially where Ridge and Brooke are concerned. They've made and broken 8 vows. So the latest revival might start the clock ticking, and viewers have to wonder if this is finally the union that will endure. Yet, even if it doesn't, they would seem destined to continue the reunification pattern indefinitely. Ridge Forrester never should have agreed. Taylor Hayes pressured Ridge to get engaged. She asked him to pledge to tie the soapy knot. He hesitated, some commercials played or were digitally skipped during a time-shifted or later viewing, and then agreed. That was the mistake Ridge made. If he hadn't agreed to remarry the woman he fathered 3 children with, she wouldn't be as crushed now. But Ridge was willing himself into a corner, and Eric knew it. He soundly called his adopted son out repeatedly. Eventually, Ridge knew his dad was right, and did what was necessary, but it was messy, with collateral damage abounding. What is this? Before Steffi Forrester Finnegan returns, Steffi Forrester Finnegan is on a vacation, clearing her head with the kids. Her return will lead to more emotional gut punches. But until the above happens, Thomas is leading the charge against Brooke. Thomas holds Brooke accountable because he believes his father cannot control himself. Thinking that Brooke is Ridge's puppeteer is juvenile, which reinforces Thomas's lack of emotional development and continued danger to those who are perceived as wronging him or his family. The truth is that Ridge loves Brooke more than Taylor and always has, despite all the marriages to both women. Thomas refuses to accept that fact and is a threat to Brooke, who knows his history of instability, which includes committing many crimes. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Bold and the Beautiful. Check back regularly for B&B spoilers and news. The Logan mansion was unusually quiet, but Brooke's mind was anything but. She stared out the window, clutching her glass of wine, her reflection almost accusing her of ignoring instincts that had rarely failed her. For weeks, she'd been telling herself that Thomas had truly changed, that his obsessive past with Hope was behind him. But deep down, the old fears had started bubbling back up, whispering that danger was circling once again. Hope had been glowing, happier than she'd seen her in years. And while that should have been a comfort, Brooke couldn't help noticing the intensity in Thomas's eyes whenever Hope entered the room, the way his voice softened around her, the way he positioned himself as his savior in every conflict. It was all too familiar. Brooke had seen this movie before, and it never ended well. Earlier that day, Ridge had defended his son with unshakable faith. "Thomas is doing great, Logan," Ridge had said, pressing a kiss to her cheek. "Thomas has worked so hard to prove himself. Don't punish him for the man he used to be." But Brooke couldn't shake what she'd overheard at Forrester Creations. In the design office, Thomas had been pacing, muttering about how Hope was finally seeing him the way she was supposed to. His words weren't just about love. They carried a dark edge of entitlement, of a man rewriting history in his mind. The truth hit Brooke like a storm. Thomas wasn't healed. He was spiraling. That evening, she found herself at Hope's doorstep, practically begging her daughter to listen. "Sweetheart, I'm worried. Thomas, he's starting to show signs again. I can feel it. You can't ignore the warning signs just because you want to believe in him." But Hope, torn between loyalty and love, shook her head. "Mom, he's been nothing but supportive. He's a great father to Douglas, and he's been my rock through everything with Liam. You have to give him the benefit of the doubt." But Brooke's heart clenched. Hope's voice carried conviction, yet her eyes wavered. A part of her knew her mother wasn't just being dramatic, that Brooke's instincts were rarely wrong. Meanwhile, at the Forrester estate, Thomas sat alone in his studio, sketches of Hope scattered around him like an obsession reborn. His pencil scraped furiously against the paper as he whispered, "No one understands her like I do. No one ever will." His breathing grew shallow, his thoughts darker. In his mind, Hope wasn't just his muse anymore, she was his destiny. As night fell, Brooke's fears grew stronger. She had seen Thomas lose control before, and every sign pointed to history repeating itself. Her greatest dread wasn't just that Hope would get hurt emotionally, it was that Thomas's fixation could spiral into something far more dangerous. The storm was coming, and Brooke knew she had to act fast. But the question haunted her. Would anyone believe her before Thomas spun completely out of control?